Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are quickly going to go through how to set up your rifle in the way of length of pull, cheek height and eye relief, etc. Reason being is I had one of the followers who will pop up on the page now was asking a question. He's having some issues setting his ACC up. So basically he was having issues with tilting his neck back, which can be a number of things. But what I was going to do, instead of just going through explaining to one person, I thought I'd just do a quick video on how I set my stuff up and hope it'll help a number of you at once. So basically, regardless of what rifle I'm trying to set up, I'll break it up into three stages, or three areas. So the first one will be length of pull. The length of pull you want to set up to your body, so every time you're jumping down behind the firearm, it's set up for you and you're comfy, you're not manhandling anything, your muscles aren't straining, you're not fatiguing yourself. The second stage is going to be setting up your optic to where it's ready to be mounted to set your eye relief. What I mean by that is making sure that the rings are in a position on your scope tube to basically allow you enough playroom or enough real estate to play with this once it's on your scope rail. So the third stage is actually putting this on your rail, moving your scope back and forth to set your eye relief. So that's why having these in the center or having these loose and in the center, it'll just make it a lot easier for the third stage. So setting up the first stage, your length of pull. How do we do that? There's heaps of videos out there and they're all pretty much on the money. You know, from your fingers down to where the crease of your elbow is, it gets you in the ballpark. So what we're going to do is I use the second crease in my trigger finger because you want that to be at a 90 degree. So basically I'll go to where the crease is and then line up and measure how much I've got to come back to my crease. So I've got about 1.5 inches. So I've got to extend this out 1.5 inches. Now the best way to set your length of pull up is set it up in the application that you're going to be utilizing your firearm for. So I'm not going to set this up for prone if I'm going to be shooting all barricades for the day or something like that, because your prone length of pull is going to be longer than what your dynamic length of pull is going to be. So the higher you get up off the ground, the shorter your length of pull is going to be. So I get it to where, so that's dead on my crease, I'm going to bring it back about 1/2 inch. I'm going to tighten them up. And all I'm going to do now is just do a quick test and adjust, and all I'm looking for here is being able to get down where I'm comfy and cycle that bolt. So I'm comfy. Alright, so that feels comfy for me. What I'm now going to do is, I'm not going to bore you with loosening these rings. I've basically just taken my match rifle apart, so I know where everything needs to go, but for this demonstration I'm just going to leave the rings attached where they are. What you guys will do is just loosen this up and then place it somewhere on the rail. I'm going to over exaggerate this just for the purpose of the video, and I'll just tighten these here up so the scope's going to be in or close to being aligned. Alright, so what you got to remember now is the length of pull is set to your body shape. What we're going to do now is bring everything back to you because this is already set for you. So what we're going to do is close our eyes, set up, drop down, then open our eyes up. Alright, I can come up. I'm sort of looking under the optic, so I'm getting a heap of shadow there. So I'm going to bring this up slightly, do the same, get comfy, close your eyes, drop down. That's better. Alright, so because I'm on max zoom, you want to do this when you're on max zoom as well. If you do it on the bottom end of the scale, once you zoom in you can bring in shadow, so you've got to make sure this is on max power. I can actually bring this back. Where I like to set my scopes up is where I'm teetering on getting shadow and no shadow, so that lets me know that my cheek is in the same spot every single time. If I bring this back to where I've got a whole 1.5 inches, 2 inches where my cheek can be anywhere on here and I'm still getting no shadow, I'm increasing a little 1% of error or something like that. The idea is to get your cheek down, otherwise this here is just irrelevant, yeah? So I set my rifle scope up to where I'm just teetering on the borderline of getting shadow, so I know, okay, my head's in the wrong spot, I'll just shuffle forward or back ever so slightly. So you're not actually doing a massive movement, it's just allowing you, as a mental note, it's telling you that you're slightly off here. So I can bring that back just one. All right, I'll just tighten that down. Don't fall off on me. Now after you do this and you still get a heap of shadow, then there's probably other things at work there. So what I'm going to do, same thing, test and adjust, drop down, and I'm dead on now. So I've got about half an inch play back here, which is going to allow me to still get into my standing positions or in my barricade positions without pushing me off my scope. So being on that teeter point, if I have my prone length of pull when I'm doing barricade stuff, it's actually going to push me off my scope a little bit, which you don't want. So hopefully that helped him out. If you've got any questions and stuff, just like this, little things like this, shoot them in, leave them in the comments, and we'll try to address them together as a team and nut through it.